Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me this very Sunday, a special guest, my guy Mike M., owner of the Pimp Slap Play of the Day. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jose. Happy Sunday to everybody out there, and excited to join in on Say Hey Plays. This is my inaugural Say Hey Plays opportunity, and I'm looking forward to putting the pen to paper and clicking the button on some winners today.
Mike, I'm hoping to do the same thing here, and I'm very excited so we get to break these down. You've been doing your hip to be square parlay, which has been cash and plus money still, correct?
That's right. We're 3.5 units, I believe, at this point. We're 500 on the season at 9-9, but we're over 3.5 units up. So even when we're losing, we're still winning.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Those plus money lines make for those lovely opportunities. So shout out to you there, Mike. It's been fun to watch. I hope you keep cashing them. We have a large card here today. Some of these games I've capped more thoroughly than others. Some games had starting pitchers listed, and I checked this morning. They're not more listed anymore. But it's going to be a fun afternoon of baseball, Mr. Mike M. I'm excited to talk about it with you. Let's shout out the chat real quick before we get right into this. It's going to be a fun day. Real Deal Prime and Justin McIvy giving us a little weather report in Pittsburgh, high 40s, low 50s there. No rain. Shout out to you there. Professor Chris D. Jenkins, Rocco Rogers, our guy Razor Sharp Picks, the horse racing king, and the owner of the whole live bet streams on Friday. Go check out our guy Razor. Mike M's prominently featured on those as well. So go check them out on Fridays as well. Degenerate Gambler, GJ Dub, Mark Campbell, Alfred 44, Brad Summersell. What's up, my man? Let's get right into it. Let's cap this card. No more rushing or no more wasting time, I should say. Let's talk Phillies Rockies. First game on our slate. Almost the minus 300 fade here, Mike. Almost. Jose Urena versus Zach Wheeler. This spot really doesn't feel like it needs too much explanation. You know, Zach Wheeler, a pitcher that's been better at home last year, this year. And now he's back at home facing a Rockies team that's not very good. They're 26 against righties in the last 2 weeks, 73 weighted runs created plus. This is just a kind of an easy pass here, while obviously the Phillies are doing their thing. The Rockies full season are 27th as well. And for the last 2 weeks, the Phillies are hitting righties 115 weighted runs created plus, while we think Jose Urena is probably one of the worst starters in baseball. So easy pass here for me, Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, certainly Urena's doing his job to, work his way maybe over to the KBO or the NPB or maybe somewhere down in the Mexican penal circuit. But, as it stands today with the Phillies, the stat that I saw with Zach Wheeler is that he's 16-1 at home during the day as a favorite or a slight dog, which you had kind of commented on his abilities at home. A couple thoughts that I have on the game from this series particularly. I'll take a step back and say one of the things that I rushed the action at noon and it seems to bite me in the ass. So I did want to take a play on it because the Phillies at home and Zach Wheeler feel like a play on spot. And it's leg one of the hip to be square play of the day that I threw out there today. So I comboed up a plus 113 spot. We'll talk about the second leg in a few minutes. But leg one was Zach Wheeler and the Phillies money line. That being said, something that I've noticed that's been working out really well for me is Colorado on the run line. And couple that with the fact that the Philadelphia Phillies are 0-7 on the run line as a home favorite in their last 7 games. I am going to take a stab, even though it's kind of double dipping. And I certainly don't like to do that out the gate. It's plus money. And I've been hitting it all weekend with the Colorado Rockies. So I am going to take the Colorado Rockies plus 1.5. And I'm obviously on that hip to be square as a leg of it on the money line. So I'm expecting a 1-run game here. And I'm going to take that plus 125 with the theory that, heaven forbid, my parlay doesn't hit, then I'm still in an opportunity. Then I've obviously made money, plus money either way by taking the Colorado Rockies plus 125. So I'm kind of looking to secure the bag and put some money in my pocket one way or the other.
Love that. Well, I love that look from you there, Mike. I think this game will be closer than expected as well. But that's just based on me fading minus 300s all the time. So keep an eye out for that game. Next game, great game. Astros, Braves. The series is not disappointed this whole weekend. I bet the over in their first two games. It's cashed by a half run both times, thankfully. It's been fun watching, though. Astros win the game yesterday, 6-3. We were on the Braves full game money line. That's okay. Thank God, like I said, we had the over. So we could basically break even there. Max Fried versus Christian Javier. A great starting matchup here. I love Christian Javier. He's one of my favorite pitchers in baseball. Max Fried, a really good lefty that I like as well. Second start coming off of a hamstring injury. First start, 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs against the Padres. Padres obviously not hitting. We'll see how the Astros go here. This is a good game and a good enough game where I didn't find any value. I mean, lean Astros, obviously, plus money is always the best thing to go with. Braves coming off a loss will be interesting, but I like Christian Javier here generally. I think pitchers can be a wash here, and the bullpen goes to the Astros. So if lineup can get something together, then it'd be Astros spot for me here. But I lean Astros. Haven't moved on it yet, but probably passing on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Javier as the pitching matchup there. Max Fried is, he kind of seems like he starts the season slow, right? He's kind of gets it together second half of the season type of guy and starts to make that run. And kind of if you look at how Atlanta's performed the last couple of years, they go on those monster runs and they just kind of seem to secure that NL East. I certainly like your thoughts on the plus money. A couple other factors I looked at with the game. Specifically, when you look at where the cash flow is coming in right now, we've got 62% of the bets and 76% of the money coming in on the Atlanta Braves. And the line has dropped from a minus 145 open yesterday afternoon down to a minus 125 right now. It's correlated on the Astros side from a plus 115 down to a plus 110. So I've kind of seen some reverse line movement there. A couple thoughts is that Houston is 5-0 versus the NL East, and they're 8 for 8 in day games against the NL East after they've picked up a win. So it definitely screams Astros spot to me. I haven't gotten there yet. Reason I haven't gotten there yet is because I did take the Astros yesterday, and it was kind of a little back and forth there. They went up by quite a few runs. I don't necessarily like to visit the same spot back-to-back days. So I've got it kind of highlighted on my card, but I just haven't gotten there yet. It's a 1:30 start. So we'll see how things start to settle in for that Colorado game. I've got a ton of plays and definitely a volume better for anybody that's seen, the Friday streams or any of the other streams that we're a part of here, that I like to get quite a bit of action out there. I've got quite a bit of action for us. So we're going to put a little pencil on the Astros, but we'll come back to that one towards the end of the card, depending on the number of plays that we lock in.
Yep, I agree. I lean Astros. I just don't know if I'm going to get there to the window. Just the plus money is appealing. I know Max Fried's really good, but I think the Astros can get it done. Something that I was a little busy and I did not write down this morning was the split numbers against righties and lefties. So I'm going to pull up real quick the Astros splits against lefties this season in the last 2 weeks, just to hopefully make myself feel better about betting them against Max Fried, one of my favorite pitchers in baseball. And plus, I think it's always an advantageous spot to come and fade a pitcher, especially after an IL spot. And if their first start's good, I tend to think that their second start will struggle a bit. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. Last 2 weeks, Houston 11th, 106 weighted runs created plus against lefties. Full season, they are 7th, 121 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So there you go. There you go. I'll be watching, and I'll be interested to see how the Astros do here right now.
So I never started out as a baseball guy. So that weighted runs, walks per inning, some of those things, the whips, and those are great names, but they don't resonate a lot with me. So we'll see how that goes as I start to learn from you, the Messiah here with our Say Hey Sunday plays of the day.
Well, luckily for me, they made baseball statistics a little more simple. When you ever have that plus at the end of it, it's always out of 100. So that's what makes me feel better. When you have a plus, as 100 is average, everything above, below, or everything above is above average. You get it. So yeah, I like that. That's the stat I use. It makes my life easier. So Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates here. I think this is going to be a play for me here, Mr. Mike. And I understand that we have all the love in the world for our Pittsburgh Pirates. Some people would say I began the Pittsburgh Pirates bandwagon. I jumped on very, very early. And I love these Pirates, but I'm not going to back Vince Velasquez here with my money. I understand he's had 2 good starts back to back here and good relatively. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs against the Rockies. At the Rockies is a good start, but still got touched up for some runs there. Before that, he pitched really well against St. Louis in that spot after the Cardinals came away from Coors. Took advantage, pitched well there. So give him his props, but at the end of the day, I'm still not backing him here. I'm still going to side with my guy, Hunter Green. Pitched against him twice last year, 7 1/3, no hits. Gross start. No hits, 1 earned run there, 5 walks, 9 Ks, and then 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 10 Ks, 3 walks. Think he gets it done today. Just think a simple first 5 money line spot is most likely my look here. Going to go to the line shop and quote a price here real quick. But I understand obviously the Pirates have been hitting really well. The Reds not as much, but I just think this is just a better pitching matchup for me than I think that my Reds bats can take advantage of and get a run here for us. So I'm going to be on the Reds first 5 here most likely. What do you think here?
Yeah, I can't fault that. I think Hunter Green's definitely in a good spot against the Pirates. This is one of those series as well where I've been catching the +1.5. So something that I've been trying to do, and I know we keep it at a single unit show-wise, is I'll take the +1.5 if it's reasonable, right? I'm not going to go over 140s and 145s, but I'll put 2 units on the +1.5, and then I'll circle back with a single unit on the money line itself. And I did that with the Colorado Rockies this series, and I've done that with the Cincinnati Reds as well. And it's been profitable. So whether you do 1 unit and a half a unit on the money line or 2 units and 1 unit, however you want to tie your bankroll into those situations, that's been a definite profitable spot, especially this weekend. For me, I saw there was a great stat that I like there around the away favorites in day games this season are 33-4 if the starter's coming off a loss. So it definitely favors Hunter Green. We know Hunter Green's the better pitcher. The numbers suggest a bounce back spot for Hunter Green as well. But again, this is a series where I feel like I was, in the trenches kind of pulling my money out Friday and Saturday on this one. And I just don't see a lot of value, as it relates to today's numbers. I do see quite a bit of money coming in. 87% of the money's on the Reds. And again, it's a situation where the money line dropped from -140 to -112. So I've already got my money on this game, and I'm going to stay away and pass.
Beautiful. If I'm moving on this game, it's going to be a first 5 -0.5 +110. We'll talk about making things official at the end of the show, obviously, but that's what I'm leaning towards right now. Dommy Gunn saying a stay away game. Professor Chris on Pirates full game. Cred Wood saying these pitchers are dead even against, which is wild to hear from Hunter Green versus Vince Velasquez perspective. I will be interested to see how Hunter Green does bounce back from his last start. He came out of the game early, got hit in the shin, I believe, with the ball.
I think it was, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I think he'll come back and pitch well. But I will we'll see here. And Alpha 44 saying Pirates may end up being a legit good team. May have been burned fading them. So shout out to you there. Stephen Harrison likes Reds money line, and Markel even on Rockies first 5 money line there, saying fuck the Phillies. Detroit, Baltimore next game up, and I had this game as Matthew Boyd last night. And it is decidedly not. It's my old friend Eduardo Rodriguez versus Grayson Rodriguez here. I'm going to be interested to see how Grayson continues to develop. His last 2 starts have not been good. 4 earned runs, 5 earned runs last time out. Both wins. Lucky enough for him because his offense shows up. But he went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs against the White Sox, and then 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs against the A's. And that's just not going to cut it when you're facing the A's. So I do expect some runs here, kind of from the Detroit Tigers. But Baltimore against lefties, and this is last 2 weeks, our 110 weighted runs created plus is 9th best in the league. Full season, let me double check. Full season, they are, I can't see it, 4th, 131 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So this would just be another classic team total over spot for me. I'm going to double check the line, see what we got here. I'm assuming it'll be a 4.5 at some -120-ish price, but we'll see. Mr. Mike M., what do you think on this play?
Yeah, so interesting numbers is clearly Baltimore's smashing lefties right now, and it's no secret. You're talking about your weighted runs. We learned if it's over 100, it's plus, I think is what you said to me. So I'm trying to figure out how that ties together. But that being said, as I kind of pulled the covers back on this game, I saw Erod, right? We got a, what is it, Erod, G-Rod matchup here. Erod
Yep.
owns these Baltimore Orioles, right? So he beat them 10 times with your Boston Red Sox, and he picked up a W with them against as a Detroit Tiger. So a couple spots I looked at here, and this is where we're going to start to kind of stack up a couple of plays for this card. First and foremost, I went with the no-run first inning. I got that at minus 130, so I'm on a Nerfy. I do expect it's an early start. It's probably a little bit cooler than it will be as we get into the bullpens in the later part of the day. So I went no-run first inning. I took Erod. I've got Erod. I've got Erod 6+ strikeouts. So I'm looking for this guy to come out there and dominate. His 4 and his 5 numbers are blasted. 6+ strikeouts, so over 5.5 Ks is plus 116. I jumped on the first 5 plus 140 and the full game plus 150 for the Detroit Tigers. I'm expecting the Tigers to come out here and beat up on the Baltimore Orioles today. So, I'm doing a little plus money hunting here, trying to find out, and you'll see that throughout my card as the numbers I'm taking are either low juice or plus money. It's Sunday. I like to close the books out on Sunday as I'm up on the locals here going into Monday. Sunday's my last betting day, and I'm going to take plus money stabs at it and try to continue to build on that roll. So I've got 4 spots. I've got the Nerfy. I've got the Erod 6+ Ks, the first 5 money line, and the first 5 full game. If you want to be safe, the plus a half for Baltimore is for Detroit is minus 105. Let me rephrase that. Detroit Tigers first 5 plus a half is minus 105. I've got enough action on the card today that if I push, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And I'd rather take that plus 140 score with the suspected Baltimore situation today. Despite the lefties, despite the weighted run averages and everything else, I'm still going to go for a shot with the Detroit Tigers.
Interesting. I like that. I like that look. That plus a half. You're right. It is a little plus safe, but that's how I live my life, Mike. I'm a little plus safe. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to move on the team total now since you like them so much. I'll probably end up staying off and watching here. And I wanted to double check to see if the Orioles were traveling somewhere tomorrow to hopefully make this more interesting. They stay at home against the Red Sox tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes for them. But I like your action there. A lot of past history with Eddie and the Baltimore Orioles. So, like we were looking at, Mike M. Like we were looking. Next game, good game here. Yankees, Blue Jays, I should say. And boy, oh boy, what a game yesterday. I was really glad that I was on the right sides there. Happy that my guy Alek Manoah, a human driven on spite, just like myself, went out there and shoved. Now I don't know what to expect here today from our guy Kevin Gausman, and obviously the lines on the screen are a little messed up. It's minus 135 for the Blue Jays right now, plus 113 for the Yankees. Total of 8.5. So at the end of the day, I don't want to back Clark Schmidt ever, Mike, and I'm a little worried about what Kevin Gausman's doing. His last 2 appearances got touched up, but it's Gausman or pass for me. I really thought about a Blue Jays -1 here, perhaps, or even a team total just to eliminate the Gausman factor out of this, which is shocking to say because I really like Gausman. He's a really good pitcher, but it might be just a team total spot here for me. So maybe a little anticlimactic for such a good game. What do you think here, Mike?
Yeah, totally agree. What Gausman are we going to see? Clark Schmidt is not a play-on pitcher for me. And, you talk about your lines are definitely a little off there. I would slam the Blue Jays at plus 148. As it stands right now, I'm going to take the Blue Jays at minus 135. Specifically, Gausman is 22-5 when he's on the road as a favorite, and the total is more than 6.5. So he's in a play-on spot. These guys come to Yankee Stadium. It's a big deal, right? They got the pinstripes against them. They're out there. They're trying to give their best. It's going to be a ruckus full house early out there in New York. So I think they're going to give us our best. I think we're going to see that the Toronto bats continue to pound away, and Clark Schmidt's going to make a nice little target. So I rolled Toronto minus 135. That's going to be probably the highest favorite I've got on the card. The other spot that I took in there is I did take a Nerfy. Nerfy first inning minus 106 is the number that I got that at as well. So thought there is, maybe Schmidt gets through that top of the order, comes out, jacked up, and then he starts to show a little something Gausman definitely wants to get through at least the top of the order out there. So, I'm hoping that in that case, we get that nerfy. We go through those first 6 outs, the sweaty 6. And at a minus 106, I've got that minus 135 Toronto in my back pocket. So I can either double dip this thing. Maybe it's a push. Obviously, I don't want to lose, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I like your looks here, Mike. Toronto -1 might be a play for me here. But
the numbers suggest, when you look at the number and you see, Toronto on the road, finishing out the series, tough spot against the Yankees. Why are the Yankees with this Yankees tax as a dog? Just doesn't scream Yankee spot for me. So, I'm going to go with those Toronto Blue Jays. I'm a Blue Jays guy too, so that's a little homer pick for me, but I like to fade the Yankees every chance I get.
I understand that. Shout out to Dommy Gun, by the way, messaged me early in the morning saying it was raining all day today. Rain, and apparently it stopped recently, so they might get this game in. But something to always consider as well. All right, next game on our slate, another good series here. White Sox Rays here. Lucas Giolito has seemingly found it. I buried him dead. I thought he was washed already. In his last 2 starts, he said, no, I'm very much alive, very much still in this. So shout out to Lucas Giolito. And, this is kind of obvious. Look at his free agency year. Obviously, he's becoming a free agent after this year, so he's got all the incentive in the world to pitch well. So maybe Lucas Giolito has found it. Maybe that changeup is back of his, but I'm not paying to see it, especially against the Rays here. Again, honestly, this is a pass here for me because Zach Eflin coming off the IL. I'll need to see what he has. But this is a Rays -1 again here for me. They don't lose at home, apparently, is what we've established. I don't think they've lost yet at home. I think they're like 20-0 or whatever it is. But yeah, another easy pass to lean towards the Rays. And maybe if Lucas Giolito pitches well here, be a bet on pitcher going forward. So I'll be watching on that aspect. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, shout out to Donnie Gunn talking about the favorites yesterday and the 12 games that they won outright yesterday. So when the numbers make sense, you can definitely make some money off of those favorites. We're seeing that with the 2-team parlay. And speaking of the 2-team parlay, this is the second leg of the Hip to Be Square parlay. So you've got time to get it in. I've got the Phillies money line parlayed with the Tampa Bay Rays money line. When I had originally capped this game, I thought it was going to be a bullpen day for Tampa Bay. So I'm not sure what their overall. I see Eflin in the lineup here, and that would just make me feel even better about the Tampa Bay spot. It's 23-0 at home, Tampa Bay, when the line's over -160. So when they're a favorite at home, they're just dominating and crushing. They're obviously getting those over numbers out like crazy right now as well. So their bats are alive at home. They like playing at home. Surprisingly enough, though, despite it being Giolito, I did see that the spot for the White Sox today suggests an under at a 28-54 under spot. I'm not going to get into this game as much as clearly the other spots. It's going to be the second leg of my parlay. I keep score, and I don't keep score like, hey, they won 2-1. I keep score like Lucas Giolito screwed me so good on a Patriots Day Boston Red Sox spot a couple of years ago. I think he put up like 11 runs in 3 innings, and I haven't forgiven, and I'll be damned if I take him in the White Sox. Although they have been a good +1.5 spot this series against Tampa Bay, but I'm going to stay Tampa Bay, second leg of my parlay, and that's it.
Beautiful. By the way, that's the day I learned that Lucas Giolito, not a morning person.
Man, he got touched up before I even had my second cup of coffee. He was out of there. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't realize as well. I remember watching the game and being like, God damn, this guy sucks now.
It was like 11-1 or something like that. It was stupid.
Yeah, it was ugly. But that's what he said. He's like, yeah, I'm just not a morning person. That early start fucked me up. I was like, all right, okay, interesting.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know, Lucas, you fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I had so much on that game because it was early. I was chasing the rest of the day too.
Terrible. Of course. That's the best day of the year right there, to bet on baseball as soon as you wake up. So shout out to Marathon Monday. Miami Marlins, Cleveland Guardians, another late pitching change for me. I thought this was Peyton Battenfield again. Battenfield, I should say. Logan Allen, back from the grave versus one of my best friends, Jesus Luzardo. Fishy line here. Fishy line. Led to me passing, unfortunately, again here. I looked at Jesus. His last 2 starts, 3 earned runs, Phillies and Giants. Okay. I think he can go out there and probably do the same thing again here against the Guardians. But again, this is just another spot where I don't want to see it. Logan Allen is fine. Overall, he's just kind of a mad pitcher they got from the Missions. They were from the Padres, I believe. I remember him. I think I was a bat boy when he was here for the Missions. So I ultimately, this is maybe I'm getting bored with all these easy passes here, but I just got to keep it rolling here. I just don't want to force any plays, unfortunately. And I'll look up Logan Allen real quick to see how his minor league season has gone so far, because I always like looking at minor league numbers as well. So far, in his 3 starts, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and then 4 2/3 again, 1 hit, no earned runs. So he's been pitching really well so far. So shout out to Logan Allen. I'll probably pass, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so I got a couple of simple rules that I try to deal with when it comes to baseball. A couple things around pitchers and how they start games and the frequency of home versus road starts. Doubleheaders are a spot for me that kind of throw a cautionary out there. I tried not to play the first game and then kind of see how that first game went with the thought process that they're going to split that second game and take advantage of it. So unfortunately, yesterday, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because Cleveland was the first game. And I took them, and then I took them again in the second game. And you know what? Stick to your rules. When they're simple, they're basic, and you know what the heck you're doing, stick to them. And I did not. And I took it twice on the chin with Cleveland. So as a scorekeeper as I am, I won't touch the game. But I will say, when you look at Miami and the situation, a lot of folks look to that under. You see a 7. It suggests a lower scoring game. I think the numbers moved up to 7.5. And for anybody that is looking for action on this, the Guardians are 22-5-1 to the over. At home in the last game of a series when they're losing the series. So they come out, the bats get hot, either their bats get hot or the other team's bats get hot, and they just give up entirely. At a 7.5, small enough number that I would take a look at it. I don't know enough about Logan Allen to get excited one way or the other. I know Jesus Luzardo there is not the second coming, so I'm not too excited about what he does out there on the mound. And I would say that if you're looking for some action, maybe take a peek at the over, but it's a pass for me.
I think he is the second coming, Mike. I love him. He is a second coming. Shout out to my guy, Jesus. I'm not going to bet you here today. I think there's better spots for you, my man. But I will mention the D. Jenkins comments as well. The Marlins just playing good ball right now. They're hitting well. Shout out to Skip Schumacher, who I thought was not going to be a good manager. And seemingly found a way to get these guys hitting. So, and a great win-win trade, Pablo Lopez for Luis Ariz. One of the rare really, really good win-win trade for both sides. Next game, Red Sox, Brewers, Corbin Burns, Brian Bello. Both of these teams' best pitchers, I believe, here. And Corbin Burns has really fucked me this year so far, Mike M. I have bet on him several times, it seems like. I don't feel like I've lost or I've won any of those starts. His last 2 starts in particular were good, but his first 2 were shit. We kind of remember Zach Gallen having a shitty first 2 starts and now coming back and him pitching well. They sat down Burns with a little bit of a pectoral issue, so obviously something to monitor there. But to the surprise of no one, gun to head, I'm taking the Red Sox here, plus money. I just don't trust Corbin Burns. They lost a close one yesterday. I was on their money line, 5-4. I think one of my favorite parts about this Red Sox team is that at least when they're down, they don't stop hitting. They'll always try to make it close at least and keep your money tight. I don't know. But yeah, it's Corbin Burns. So it's tough to bet against him here. But if anything, I'm taking the Red Sox or pass. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I did take the Nerfy in this one as well. Kind of the thought process there with Burns being the best, Bello being a top guy for the Red Sox. Nerfy was minus 130. It's the only action I have on the game. I did look at his strikeout rates down with Burns, but again, I think it's probably that pectoral issue that you were kind of alluding to. To me, it says that this game's going to start out where he can get going, but then when things start loosening up, does it get too loose and his arm starts to kind of fall apart? I'm not sure. I do like your look on the Red Sox. I would also take a look at Devers as an RBI. He's got 7 of his last 10 games in the situation today. He's got an RBI, and it's at a plus 195. Not something I'm going to jump in on, but if you were looking for some additional action in that game, that would certainly be a spot. If you're looking for scores and runs, that kind of correlates with our thoughts that Burns might fall apart a little bit towards the later end of the top 5. And who knows what that bullpen's going to do. So just a nerfy for me, minus 130 on the Boston Red Sox nerfy.
I have not bet many of those this year, but I do love them. I think they're my favorite bet in all of sports. Just you get in there, you sweat that first inning, and you're done. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. There's enough games going on between the NBA, the NHL. There's some golf action kicking in there. I'm even a NASCAR guy as a degenerate. So quite a few things that I'll be taking a look at. I don't mind just getting in and out of this thing in 6 innings and moving on to the next. I'm hitting pretty good rate at the nerfy right now. So nerfy or yerfy, if I do take that action in that first inning, it's been pretty successful. So I'm going to go back to it again and just kind of keep it simple, keep it there. Again, I caught my money with Milwaukee this series already, so I'm going to move on.
It's funny that nerfies are so easy to bet mentally, but yerfies are just like a fucking put yourself through a ringer. It's tough to do, but statistically, the highest scoring inning is the first inning. So I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to talk.
Throws me for a loop because I saw that Phillies game yesterday, and I was like, "This is a yerfy spot." Both teams are struggling outright, 6, 7, 8 games in a row that they've had a run in the first inning. I saw a ton of action coming in on the over. I'm like, "How's this a yerfy spot?" And sure enough, it wasn't. So that's what I get. That was probably one of the few losses I've taken there this weekend on nerfies and yerfies. But I'll endorse it for Boston. Let's see some low scoring early start.
Let's see it. Nationals Twins, Bailey Ober back into our lives. A pitcher that I actually enjoy watching pitch. Gigantic man. Big fucking guy. Versus our guy, Patrick Corbin here. We all kind of know what Patrick Corbin is at this point. Give up runs. He's pitched okay in his last couple of starts. 4 earned runs, 2 earned runs, whatever. But we all know what Patrick Corbin is. So it's just, how are we going to fade Patrick Corbin this time? I didn't find anything that appealed to me, Mike M. Did you?
I mean, it's Patrick Corbin Day, right? What do? We put the pen to paper and we fade his ass, but not me and not today. I'm gonna run the gauntlet of Patrick Corbin and try to find the 1 or 2 good starts that he has all season. So something that I kind of pointed out or found earlier in my stats is that Patrick Corbin, as a starter against a team that he beat up the last time around, is 22-5 to the under, and he's got 10 straight unders in that run. So at an 8.5 off a game yesterday, I don't know what the weather looks like in Minnesota. Probably my guess would be shitty. It's Minnesota this time of year. So that being said, being Patrick Corbin Day and everybody, their brother and their mother is looking at that thing, I'm going to take the under. First 5, I'm going to take the under 4.5. Expecting Ober, whatever, and Corbin to kind of come out there. And it started out hot yesterday, and I think it's going to kind of be the zigzag spot here with Corbin kind of running to that under. I've got the under 4.5, and a couple of Patrick Corbin spots that I took. I did take the first 5 plus a half for Patrick Corbin at plus 135. His first 5 money line is plus 222. I think it was last check I had on it. But in this case here, I'm not trying to be overly greedy. I'll be happy if this guy comes out of a 2-2 first 5 innings. I'll cash my first 5 under. I'll cash my push at plus 135. And I'm going to take the full game spot. I'm going to take the plus 1.5 as plus 110. And I'm going to take the money line at plus 220 as well on the Washington Nationals. I'm not fond of the Minnesota Twins right now. A couple of reasons, particularly. They ousted my minor league team a couple of years back. And again, I carry grudges. So that being said, I like that shot. And I told you guys earlier, I try to go the 2-unit, 1-unit for show keeping purposes. I'll keep it simple with 1 unit. But I'm going to go plus 1.5 at plus 110 and the full game at plus 222 as well. So 4 spots there, right? I'm not fading Patrick Corbin today. I'm jumping in. I'm embracing the suck. And I'm hoping today the Minnesota Twins suck.
It's funny. I kind of felt the same way. Minnesota just not hitting at all. I don't know what it is against lefties. Let's double check their lineup or their numbers, but it's cold as fuck today in Minnesota, as you predicted. Cold as fuck. It feels like 32 apparently. The wind is blowing out, which is a concern, 8-mile-an-hour out, but it's not that hard. And let's see here. Minnesota against lefties in the last 2 weeks. They are 25th, 64 weighted runs created plus. God damn. It looks like I'm going to be back in my man Patrick Corbin here. It's going to be.
Think about it this year so far. We've seen the Patrick Corbin day. Was he playing against the LA Angels? I think he came out there and scored some positive money. We saw everybody was on Ohtani, and oh my gosh, it's Ohtani day. Well, Ohtani doesn't get runs, and he took a loss on that big Angels game. It just seems like it fits the narrative that we've seen early in the season that teams that aren't hitting well continue to not hit well, and I don't think this guy knows that he's a piece of shit and everybody in the world's fading him. I mean, that's got to, say what you will, be an alpha, be a man, be all those things that you want to be. When you go to bed at night, you don't think he's thinking, I got to fuck up the Minnesota Twins. And I think that's where we sit today. So, he probably looks at the Twins as an easy target. I'm going to stay with him. I'm going to roll with him. I'm not scared. Again, big plus money if it pays off for me. The Minnesota Twins have failed to cover the run line at home against the NL East 4 in a row as well. So the plus 1.5 at plus money fitting in with that under factor for Patrick Corbin on his 10 straight unders and his first half at plus 135. There's good money to be made in that game. Enough
Beautiful.
said.
I'm on it with you now, Mike. I'm on officially the under first 5, 4.5 minus 115, and on Bet Online Washington Nationals first 5 money line plus 205 there as well. It's gonna be a big dog day for me, Mike M, because we're gonna talk about a game here soon that involves a minus 300 fade here. And I'm very excited to talk about it here soon. Let's talk about Dodgers Cubs next, though. Good game, great game here. And I think I was just like most people here, where I was like, oh, this is a Cubs spot. Clayton Kershaw, shout out to him. I faded him his last appearance. I did not know he was going for his 200th win. And he kind of brought a little extra there. Wanted that 200 win. Was very emotional on the mound, screaming, yelling, all that. I think there's going to be a little bit of a regression here, a bit of a drop off here. And Marcus Stroman, we all kind of know what his deal is. He's a pitcher that needs to pitch in big moments to get himself going. He seemingly solved his Coors Field issue. He pitched against Oakland last time, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. Seattle before that, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. I will say this: all of his starts have gone under 2. Marcus Stroman, and the Cubs are 3-1 in his starts. And by the way, Clayton Kershaw, 2 starts against the Cubs last year, both very good numbers. But I think that the Cubs get to him here, so I think I'm going to move on Cubs first 5 money line here, Mr. Mike M. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, this looks like this series has been what to be expected. I mean, it's been back and forth. The Cubs won't die. The Dodgers go up. The Dodgers get behind. They come back. They've been playing hard out there at Wrigley. When it comes to this game particularly, I did take the Dodgers full game. I got him at minus 134. I also saw a number on Stroman. So surprisingly enough, as he's been playing well, I do see somebody commented in the chat that he starts to fade as things go on through the year. Probably a little early to be thinking about him as a fade. He is, however, 0-18 straight up when he's playing during the day, and he's got a line between minus 115 and plus 160. They've given up 4+ runs in his last 2 starts, I think, in that situation as well. So suggest that he might get touched up. I'm not going to necessarily look early because the series has been too exciting to see these back and forth. So I did take the full game LA Dodgers at minus 134. And I did take on the other side of things here. So when it comes to Kershaw and potentially getting a little exposed from his previous excitement of his 200th win, I got Wisdom. Wisdom at a home run is plus 700. Let me just take a quick peek to make sure those are the current numbers. I took it earlier today. But Wisdom against the LA Dodgers has gotten a home run in 4 of his last 6 starts. So, I like that spot. I'll take a shot with the home run at plus 700, huge money to try to get a nice little, all he's got to do is pop one out of the field. And I think we could very well see that today. He's got the juice when it comes against the big lineups like what these guys bring together. I see 650 is the current number for Patrick Wisdom home run, plus 650 Wisdom home run. And I took the LA Dodgers full game minus 134.
Yep. I like that look. He's been on fire. I think he's one of the top 3 guys in home runs this year right now too. So shout out to him. I hope that happens for you. I hope the win cooperates with you as well. cold weather and no wind apparently, but I hope it starts blowing for you there. I'm going to be on a Cubs first 5 money line here. Let's see how Marcus does it for me. I want to see how he rocks and rolls.
We can
Next
both win.
game, big game for me, Mike M. Huge game for me. This is the theorem at work right here. Oakland A's versus the Texas Rangers here. Jacob deGrom making his return from the IL had a wrist injury. There's just no fucking way, Mike. There's just no fucking way he should be a minus 370. First start coming back off the IL. I don't give a fuck that it's the A's. I just, that's not in my belief system, Mike. That's not in my belief system. So I'm obviously taking the A's here. I took the money line plus 310. Just fucking crazy. Against righties, let's just talk about how bad the A's are real quick to make us feel better about betting this. 22nd against righties, 89 weighted runs created plus this whole year. For the season, however, and the Oakland A's do hit lefties better than righties, obviously. For the season, 18th, 90 weighted runs created plus, only a little below average for what is a shitty Oakland A's team. I understand that. But there's just no chance that he should be a minus 300 favorite here. And Kyle Muller has not been awful as I pull up his numbers. Maybe he has been. 6 earned runs last 2 starts against the Cubs and Orioles. Both good lineups. When he faced the Cleveland Guardians and Angels, 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, 5 innings, 1 earned run. So after they get shit kicked, the offense is so high. I think there'll be, regression, whatever. And I think the A's can win this game. So Oakland A money line plus 310 for me, Mike.
I like it. You inspired me with your auto fades there. I think it was last year, particularly when you were raising it up. I started doing that in hockey, and I had an incredible start to the season with the auto fades at the minus 300s. Interesting enough, I had the second leg of my, or maybe it was the first leg of my hip to be square parlay was the Rangers yesterday, and they went down 2-0 right away, and I'm like, shit, I fell in the trap. And then I don't know what happened. I look back again, and it was like 18-2, and I'm like, wow, that was easy. I do expect runs. I do think Oakland's an inspired team now as well. Look for these guys, bottom feeders forever. They were trying to drive attendance down in Oakland, and I think they wanted to have position and cause to sell that team. They just signed that massive land deal in LA, in Vegas, just off the strip. And I think you got an inspired program that doesn't want to move into Vegas completely sucking. And as much as there's a lot of speculation in that situation, we did see 2 games back that they beat up Texas, or they were able to hang on for the win, I guess is probably the better look at it. But what we've seen in the series is runs. I took the Texas Yurfie, yes run in the first inning at plus 120. And again, along that lines of scoring, I've got Lowe as an RBI. 6 of his last 7 games, he's put up an RBI, and it's plus 195 for Lowe to get an RBI today. So, again, 2 plus money spots on this game. If I get one of them, I'm up money. And if I get them both, I'm going to be up over 3 units just on 2 plays. So got to get creative when it comes to these cards and trying to find a way to make this money.
Especially with the minus 370. So I agree with you there. Dami Gum mentioning, by the way, and I've seen this a lot this year, favorites are dominating baseball right now. Favorites, minus 200 favorites are hitting at a 73% win rate right now. I'm hoping that changes hopefully soon. Because you guys know me as a big underdog bettor, and then maybe that's probably a reason why my record has been so poor to start this season. But I think it'll change. I think that'll eventually start sliding. And I haven't had hit a minus 200 fade yet this year, but I think literally all of them have been 1-run games. So maybe you're a smarter bettor. You take the plus 2.5, plus 1.5. And then you move on with your day. But I'm taking Oakland A's money line. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will be watching this game. Well, actually, again, never mind, because it's in Texas. I won't be watching this game. I'll be getting highlights on my phone because blackouts. Next game on our card here, Mike. Let's talk Kansas City Royals, Kansas City Royals, LA Angels here. And this was a game that has nothing for me here, Mike. I want nothing to do with it. Jordan Lyles just not good. Just keep eating those innings, Jordan. Just keep eating those innings. They've lost all the starts he's gone out there so far. Reed Detmers doesn't inspire confidence either. So I figured this one could be a quick and easy pass.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I wrote down LA/Kansas City, and then I wrote Lyles, and that's as far as I got. So I'm off this game as well. I don't have any interest or intrigue in this spot whatsoever.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful way to cap that game. And let's move on to more exciting games. This game right here in particular, Mike, Padres, Diamondbacks. Shout out to Dabby Cab. We all know what Dabby Cab's on. He's going to be on Padres first 5 here with this guy, Yu Darvish. I have been following Dabby Cab on that. I bet Yu Darvish every first 5 so far. I've had some shit luck, unfortunately. Last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and a 1-0 loss. Unfortunate there. Against the Mets, he kind of got touched up. 6 in the third, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, and a 5-0 loss. Just offense just not been there. So shockingly enough, I lean towards the Diamondbacks here. I understand Yu Darvish is very good. I probably won't be betting this game, but everyone knows my love affair with Dre Jamison. I think he's a very good pitcher. He was a reliever to start the year, just like Spencer Strider was last year. They finally acquiesced and they said, fine, let's put him in the starting rotation. He was so good in the starting rotation that, well, maybe it wasn't just him, but that he was so good that they decided, let's give Madison Bumgarner a kick to the curve now. Let's officially put this guy in the rotation forever. Maybe Madison Bumgarner did that on his own, but the point is that Dre is good enough to be in this rotation. I think he could be the 3rd best pitcher in this rotation. Him and Merle Kelly and Zach Gallen could be a great threesome there. So I ended up passing on this game, but I'm absolutely interested in Arizona. I mentioned my last note here. The line did move towards the Padres' way, though. It was minus 140 last night, now minus 150. So maybe you should take a first 5 minus a half, and you just move on with your life, just like Dabby Cab. You'll be a happy camper. But I'll be watching this game, but I'm passing.
Yeah, so shout out to Dabby. There he is in the chat. 17-6 betting Darvish first 5s, and he doesn't blindly bet it. He's definitely good about that, right? He'll stay off the spot when he doesn't think it's going. He might hit it 2 or 3 times in a row, and then the 4th time you think it's there, and he's like, nope, I'm not going to do it. But I'm with you when it comes to the Diamondbacks today. So I do like a Diamondback spot. The couple of thoughts here. First and foremost, the Padres are 3-22 when they're on the back end of a night day back-to-back situation. So 3-22 suggests that the Padres, kind of come out flat when it comes to that quick turnaround spot. Dre Jamison, kind of that young up and comer. And when you look at the K prop spot for this thing, the numbers kind of jumped out at me. Yu Darvish over 5.5 Ks is plus 115. Something doesn't seem right there. So if this guy's going to be Captain America, even though he might be adopted to a Captain America situation, why is it only plus 115 at 5.5 Ks? Suggests to me there's going to be runs. I did like an over spot in the game as well. So the over 9, is a spot that I looked at pretty heavily. It's a later day game for me. So look to me to post something. If I do, I'll make sure to tag it and update it around the Diamondbacks plus 126 and the over 9 at minus 108 were the 2 numbers I saw. Nothing official just yet. Just kind of seems like a funky situation with the back-to-back quick turnaround and the designated pitching matchup. So more to come.
I'll be watching. I'm going to write down Arizona first 5 here.
And I don't hate that either. I like that a lot.
We'll see.
Again, the first 5 under 4.5 is plus 110. Again, they're shading the over. Someone's going to get hit. It's probably either going to be, I don't know. I think Yu Garbage is really his name, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
We will see. I'm excited to watch this game. And Dabby Cab saying this is my favorite spot to be on Darvish too when everyone else is leaning on the other side. So there you go. There we go. And by the way, Professor Chris saying Dre Jamison has comparable numbers to Darvish last year, though. That being said, Dre Jamison only 9, Darvish 33. So there you go. Yeah. Obviously, Dommy Gunn liking the first 5 under there as well. I like that too. Dommy Gum. I'm sitting there and I was almost on that. So we'll see how it goes. And by the way, shout out to our guy Primetime 99. It's nice to see you in the chat here. An unfortunate crushing defeat for you yesterday, prime time. And I saw your comments, and I forgot to mention it, that you're like, now I know what it feels like to give out picks publicly and lose. Yeah, I know it sucks. But shout out to you, my man. I'm glad you're still in the chat. And I'll be looking for your drop the mic play part 2, prime time, because you got to get back in the ring. You got to get back in the ring. Shout out to everyone in the chat, though, as always. Sean Sullivan, Juan Ruiz joining us, North Ender, Dami Gunn, Craig Wood, got Dabby Cap, Professor Chris. Let's keep making money here, guys. Drop your plays. We've got 2 more games on the card here before we get out of here, and we appreciate you guys as always. Jack Flaherty and the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Seattle Mariners here in Chris Flexen. I don't know what this series has just been tough for me, Mike. I don't know about you. I don't know. Maybe it's just because these teams don't play often. And I'm like, I just don't know what to do with this series. So I passed on every game in this series. I'm passing on this game. Everyone knows that's watched the program since last year. Jack Flaherty is one of my favorite pitchers. I've really liked him, but his injuries have kept me off. I have not backed him at all this year. And I'm just probably not going to. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs against Arizona last time out. That's okay. And then 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned runs against the Colorado Rockies at the Rockies. That's fine too, but maybe against better opponents, I'll just be a little more concerned here. And I think the Seattle Mariners are a very good ball club. So I don't want to back them here. I obviously don't trust Flexen. I probably lean towards an over here, but ultimately just another easy pass game for me here.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot because you're right. They don't play much. The series has been. I'll tell you what. I had a nice big parlay last night with the Seattle comeback, so I was happy to see that again. Got my money out of the series. It's a 4 o'clock spot, so I do like a quick hitter. I am going to take the yes runs in the first inning. Between Flaherty and Sexy Flexy, someone's going to let up a run here early in this game. They have to. There's no freaking way these guys are going to come out there and mow everybody down to start this thing out. So the Yerfie for the first inning is minus 110. And, when you want to look at some data to support it, St. Louis has given up 5 Yerfies in a row as a favorite. So, they're certainly not immune to letting the ball come out of the field. Also, a number of 16-1 to the over when teams are playing on Sunday against non-divisional opponents. So last kind of pack the bags up, but keep the bats out because we're going to go out there and smash this thing around a little bit is kind of what that number suggests to me. So, in and out of this game, I've got enough other action going on, but I am going to take that yes run first inning. Give me a quick strike, and I don't care who it is. Just get it. If preferably they can get it in the first at-bat, I'll move on, and I won't put another second of thought into that game. So I've got Seattle Yerfie at minus 110.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know how you do it, man. The Yerfies just always scare me. They always do, especially because when I want to bet them, I always want plus money too. For some reason, in my head, I'm always like, yeah, I'll bet this like plus 200. Yeah, and it's I don't know why I can't get through my fucking thick skull that it's the highest scoring inning and that it's gonna happen. But yeah, no, I shout out to you, Mike. I'll be watching these first innings now, watching their scores, thinking about you now. And it'll be a lot of fun.
So I've got a couple of them lined out there today, and it's probably a little bit more than I prefer. But again, there's a lot of other action, so I want to hit these things quick and move on. And when I lose them is when they're minus 150s, minus 160s, minus 170s, and I'm stupid. I'm usually 3/4 cocktailed, and I'm trying to make a quick strike, and then I just see the bankroll go the opposite direction. But I've got quite a few of them out there today, so it should be fun. A lot of fun.
Fair enough. I like them. I think they're fun bets. I think they're a fun sweat. So shout out to you, Mike. Last game on our card. Unfortunately, I didn't get to cap this game very in-depthly, but we got guys like Dami Gum in the chat. Hopefully Mike or hopefully Nutflush Allen is in here as well. And maybe drop a comment letting us know what he thinks about the Giants because he was spot on yesterday. We talked, and obviously this is a primetime 99s game. We were all on the Mets yesterday thinking the Giants weren't going to hit lefties. They hadn't hit lefties all year. And then Mike Nutflush, I should say, came in there, said, hey, maybe you guys should pay attention to which lefties they don't hit, et cetera, et cetera. Don't be lazy. And what do you know? The Giants go out there and smash a lefty. It's the first time we saw it all year. Shout out to Nutflush. it's funny. I never feel educated enough talking about the Giants compared to Nut Flush Allen. So I feel like I always end up passing. But I like this game. I like Tyler Megill a lot. Everyone knows that. I've backed him since last year again. I got hurt with his shoulder, came back, has pitched well this year. I've liked to see it. I've been on him. I was on him last start. Of course, he loses it, but I've liked it a lot. And Stripling, who, I thought I just pulled up his fan graphs and I was like, okay, he's probably been hurt. No, he's been in the bullpen. I thought he was going to be a starting pitcher. No, he's been in the bullpen. Like I said, at Miami last time out, 2 1/3, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, no earned runs, no earned runs there, 2 hits, I should say. The Dodgers, he got touched up 3 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run. But he's pitched okay in his first 2 starts to give up 4 earned runs back to back. But I'll take his last 2 starts. Hopefully, he figured something out in those 2 times. I'm passing here most likely. I want to see how it goes for these Metropolitans. They obviously hit righties better than they do lefties, I believe. New York Mets 8th, 111 weighted runs created plus for the full season, and for the last 2 weeks, they're 4th, 123 weighted runs created plus, 23% above average there. So maybe a lean towards an over here, but I just don't feel educated enough to give out a play here responsibly. So I pass on this game.
Oh, volleys it right over to my court. So think about this. Ross Stripling's not good enough to be in the Toronto Blue Jays lineup, but Kevin Gausman is. And I know what we said about him earlier and how he's going out there against the Yankees. Different situation and different spot start. This is a game that we're going to cover on the Sunday Night Live stream tonight. Sunday Night Live with Jimmy the Bag and guests.
Look at you, company man. Look at you, these plugs. I love to see it, Mike.
So I don't want to spoil the fun and the surprise. What I will say is a couple of thoughts that I have around the game. First and foremost, and probably the only spot I'll share for it today is, and it'll kind of correlate with where I'm thinking the total goes here if you can put 2 and 2 together. But Brandon Nemo's got an RBI in 4 of the Mets' last 5 games against the San Francisco Giants. His RBI stat is plus 190 tonight. So again, to close the night out at plus money, 4 of 5 games specifically against the Giants, with Ross not good enough to play in Toronto. Stripling coming out there for a start against San Francisco, or with San Francisco in his first of the season. To me, seems like it's a good spot for Nemo and some offense. So I'll kind of foreshadow the look for that game. But again, tune in tonight, Sunday Night Live with Jimmy the Bag and cast and crew. We're going to try to smash those books and close out the night with some great NBA and Major League Baseball spots. And I'm not going to steal too much of the thunder for the picks for that game coming up tonight. We've got plenty of day games ahead of us, plenty of opportunity to make some cash. And, I had a lot of fun, Jose. I appreciate you giving me the invite on the show. Shout out to our chat. All you guys are loyal diehards and followers. And certainly appreciate you guys taking the time to jump on and hear what we have to say today.
No, of course, Mike. You'll be on the show frequently this year, so I hope you're prepared for that mentally and physically, because I know doing a show with me is a grind, obviously, but we appreciate it. Mike, I've said this like 6 times in the last couple of shows, but Pete Loshak always says we just need to listen. Just need to listen and we'll be better cappers. I'm looking at my guy, Dami Gunn, saying he's 17, 8-4 on my Mets plays this year, and he's on the Mets this year, or on the Mets this game. So I'm going to take it. I'm on the Mets. Money line, minus 115. I also do like the over, Craig, like you were mentioning there. I like the over in this game just because the Giants in the first couple of weeks were hitting righties really well. But the last 2 weeks against righties, they're 91 weighted runs created plus. When full season, they're 4th, 120 weighted runs created plus. So obviously there's some regression there. But I believe in Miguel. I like him a lot. Dami even saying that he's their best pitcher right now. So I like him a lot, and I'm going to move on him. So Mets money line for me there. Mike, it's going to be a fun day of baseball here. It's going to be a little sweaty. I did not expect all this action, but I've got some dog spots here that we love to see. Hopefully those favorites can stop cashing at such a historical rate today, and we can get a bone thrown our way here. That would be very nice here. But it's going to be a fun afternoon of baseball. Going And I'll start off with my first play because I know I'll get a text message from Dabby Cap later today telling me I was an idiot for betting this. But I'm going to take Arizona first 5 money line plus 115 there. First official play there. Minnesota Washington Nationals first 5 under 4.5 minus 115. On the Nationals full game money line plus 205 there. Or sorry, first 5 money line. Excuse me. First 5 money line plus 205. Backing our guy Patrick Corbin. A statement I did not think I would be doing that, so that'd be funny. First Cubs first 5 plus 115 there. New York Mets full game money line and the minus 300 fade of the day. Oakland money line plus 310. So I am rocking with those plays. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays today on the cutting room floor. Just to mention real quick, I liked Cincinnati first 5, didn't move on it. Astros full game money line didn't move on that, and Toronto minus 1 did not move on that there. But I've got those 6 plays locked in for me. Mike, what are you on today?
Yeah, so it didn't seem like I was going to have as much action as I ended up with, but, I kind of isolated it to a certain number of games. And so, the hip to be square parlay is the Phillies Tampa Bay Rays at plus 113. I did kind of double back and I took the Colorado Rockies plus 1.5 at plus 125. I've got the Detroit no run first inning, Detroit first 5 money line, and Detroit full game. Toronto money line and the no run first inning. Boston no run first inning. Patrick Corbin Day, we're going first 5 under 4.5. Washington first 5 plus 0.5 at plus 135, plus 1.5 at plus 110, and plus 222 on the money line. The Dodgers minus 134, and that little guy Patrick Wisdom to pop a home run at plus 650 is the current number. Texas Yurfee plus 120, low RBI plus 195, and Seattle Yurfee minus 110. I'll tweet these out, Jose. I'll make sure to copy you in and attach the show to it. So if you guys want to follow me at PimpSlapPod, you'll be able to see all of that action if you didn't get a chance to write it down as quickly as I was able to regurgitate it. But, again, pick a couple spots we liked, hammered away, and have some fun with it. So hopefully the rest is just sitting back waiting to cash.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping right now. This was the hard work here. Now here comes the easy work, hopefully, of watching all of these bets cash. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Shout out to everyone watching the show. As always, we appreciate you guys. Without you guys, this show would not be possible. Again, 1,000 appreciations. You guys keep me employed. So thank you very much. Equinemius, Andrew G, BJ, Dabby Cab, all you guys, Professor Chris, Dami Gunn, C-Bling, DC Capper, Turnsy, my man. Shout out to you, Turnsy, Ganyong, Marco Carrasco, RVD 420, Brian Watson. Thank you guys all for joining us. Rocco, Man Bear Pig, DC Capper already mentioned, Primetime 99. Hopefully that drop the mic play cashes for you today, whatever it might be for you. Daniel Son, J Dub. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Mike M, I can't wait. Again, thank you so much for joining us, or joining me, I should say. I hope you do it again soon as my computer falls. But I hope you do it again soon, my man. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun watching these games. Follow us on Twitter at Jose Bouquett, at PimpSlapPod. Don't forget to say hey on social media. And we'll see you guys next time for another edition of Say Hey Plays.